and welcome to the 24th Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host, Vincent LaRose, and today, as we all know, very rough weekend for the Yankees. The offense could just not get going. Boston, just for some reason, seems to have our number this season, and we just... I feel like it's a mixture of bad managerial decisions with very poor, untimely hit. There's no timely hitting. I talked about it last episode. The Yankees were really good with hitting with 2 outs. We were lucky if we even got a guy in second this series. So, anyways, let's start it off with something at least a little bit positive for the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. Was today in Yankees history. So on this day in Yankees history was Pedro Martinez's famous press interview where he says, well, when a reporter asks him how, basically saying that he's such a dominant pitcher, they don't understand why. Why is it that he struggles against the Yankees? And his response was, well, what am I gonna say? I guess I can call the Yankees my daddy. So I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm just gonna play that clip.
I thought I pitched a better game today. It's just that I made I made some pretty good pitches, and they battled their butt off. And Sierra is a good example, hitting good pitches. Matsui did it earlier in the game too. Abel hit pretty good pitches. I mean, what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
Yeah, that's a really fun today in Yankees history, especially after playing the Red Sox. Maybe watching this or listening to this, get some joy out of being a Yankees in the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry. But anyways, I'm not gonna recap the full games. It's pretty bad, to say less. I'll just go straight into it. Game 1, Yarbrough takes the mound. Goes 4 and a third. Bullpen takes over. We were down 1-0. We only gave up, and I think Yarbrough gave up 1 run. And Judge ends up hitting a home run in the top of the 9th off of Crochet. His only hit of the series, as it was a clutch hit, it was a bomb. We still end up losing in extras anyways after Carlos Narvaez walk-off double or single, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get into what happened with Volpe after this, but game 2 we also lose 3-4. I actually really didn't pay attention to that game. I was on vacation in California. I know we lost 3-4, and I know they only decided to start scoring runs in the 7th inning. You lose 3-4. Rodon started. I know it wasn't the best start. A little bit better than last week's start, but here's what it is. And then of course we get swept. We lose game 3 2-0. Free started. It was a good start. He still went 7 innings, only giving up 2 runs, which is better than what's considered a quality start. Yankees decided that they just weren't going to hit the baseball at all this series, at all in the past 4 games. But so we get swept, unfortunately. So I'm just going to go right into talking really about what's going on. So the offense this series only scored 4 runs in the 3 games. That is the first time in over 100 years that has happened. The last time it happened, I believe, is when the Red Sox still had Babe Ruth. So 100 and I think it's like 102 years or something like that. Yeah, that's really bad. The Yankees' offensive series was nothing. A lot of strikeouts. It looked like everybody was trying to hit a home run. Everybody was trying to be the hero. There was no timely hitting other than DJ LeMahieu, that double that for some reason was a foul ball. But anyways, it was just a poor series for the offense. The umpires weren't helping them, so I think that was only pissing them off even more. It just it was a tough series for the offense. The pitching pitched well, which is nice. At least there is one positive. We didn't just get blown out every single game. I mean, the most we gave up was 4 runs. We lost every single game by 2 or less. Game 1 by 1, Game 2 by 1, and then Game 3 by 2, of course. I mean, Judge struggled in this series. I know he hits the 1 home run off Crochet, but he strikes out 9 times and then hits into a double play when needed most in the 3rd game. So it just, again, it was a really tough series for the offense. It really didn't look like everybody was all there. I mean, even today, I saw Jazz take a swing, and I just don't understand what's going on, man. I mean, he's coming out saying he's going to go 70%, blah, blah, blah. He gets a fastball down the middle, swings as hard as he can. And we just need guys on base at this point. We're down 2-0. The approach looked off. Everything looked bad. I really hope, I know they got a long stretch of games going. Hopefully get out of this funk quick. But like, even going back to the Royals series, we only won Game 3, 1-0. I know we win, which is good, but we've only scored 5 runs in 4 games, which is really, really bad. Especially with how good the pitching has been. The pitching has been really good. So it's just tough. I know you're gonna have stretches like this. It's not always going to be perfect, but like I said, I always preach consistency with the Yankees, man. Even if you just take one of these games, okay, that was weird. But I know it's not the outcome you want, but you get another one on the board. Toronto's only 3.5 back now, which I don't think is a big deal. I don't think we're going to lose the division, but it's a struggle. It definitely shows that, I know the Royals series, Game 3 was kind of a punt game. Jazz wasn't in the lineup. Judge was given a day off. I know he ended up pinch hitting, but it didn't really matter. But just everything looks a little bit off right now. Hopefully they can get in the cages with some help on the way, which I'll talk about later. But anyways, we'll go to the pitching, though. The pitching has been very good, actually. They've only given up 13 runs in the past 6 games, which they've only done a couple times this season. So, it sucks. They're averaging just over 2 runs a game when the offense on the season averages just under 5 runs a game. I think it just dropped back under. They were averaging over 5 runs a game for a little bit. I think it's under 5 now. But, when the offense goes out there and basically only gives you 2, is only giving up on average 2 runs a game, and we lose 3 out of 4. I mean, technically in those last 6, we've won 3 out of 6, but I feel like in that scenario, we should win 4 out of 6, even 5 out of 6, with the offense only giving up 2 runs a game. So again, it's just a tough series. The pitching was bad, the pitching was very good. The offense was just really bad. It just, again, like, everybody looked off a little bit. It looks like some guys were really uncomfortable in the box. I know Volpe got a couple of hits. Judge got his 1. LeMahieu actually doesn't look too bad. I know he didn't get a lot of hits, but, I mean, Dominguez actually hit the ball hard, although our base running, I don't even know what's going on. I'll play that Dominguez clip right now. I want to talk about that a little bit. It looked like he was just, like, not even paying attention. Our base running is awful. It's atrocious. It's so bad. Again, it's just the fundamentals of baseball, which, players in the past have criticized the Yankees organization, especially like in the minor leagues, where they don't really teach the fundamentals of baseball. It's a lot of just swing as hard as you can, hit the ball as hard as you can, and see how far it goes. They don't work on defense a lot, which has been told. Even when we had a defensive-minded team this year, we're still really not great defensively. I think numbers-wise, I'll look to see like what we're ranked, but like it all looks bad. I'm actually curious. What are the Yankees? Just watching it, we make a lot of errors. That shouldn't. Okay, so maybe I'm a little harsh on the defense. So the defense is considered 7th. They have the 7th most defensive runs saved in baseball. I just feel like we make a lot of silly errors, a lot of throwing errors. I think one being on national television with Jazz's was a little like weird, but anyways. Everything is good. Our base running is terrible. Judge is the worst. I don't care too much about Judge because he's hitting 380, but Judge is the worst base runner in baseball. Dominguez, it just looked like he had a brain fart. Volpe made such a bad decision. Look, I know Boone backed it up. I'll get to that in a second. It's just the base running looks bad. It looks poor. It looks like they're not paying attention. Like literally just doing the bare minimum and paying attention. We're supposed to have speed and athleticism on the team. That's what the overhaul was supposed to be from last year. Add speed, add better defense, add athleticism, which we have done. We have more stolen bases than normal, or not normal, but than we've had in the past couple of years. We have a better defense in the past couple of years. Just still, the base running looks bad. But again, I'll get into this. I'm gonna play what Boone said. Again, I'm just gonna let that video play.
Volpe going there?
What's that?
You're okay with Volpe?
Oh, hell yeah. You're not? Yeah. You seen Anthony steal third, and the only reason he's out is because he kind of gets caught on the slide where he doesn't extend. Absolutely.
I know he was very adamant on he fully agrees that Volpe should have stole that bag in that scenario. Here's my personal opinion on it. If you're going to steal third and put that on the line, why not just bunt with nobody out at that point? I know the away mentality of extra innings with that guy on base it's very likely the bottom of the ninth is going to score anyway, so you want 2 runs. And I completely understand that. But if Volpe's going to steal that bag there, they're not going to just let him go. The Red Sox aren't going in like we're going to score that run anyways. Just let him run. I just feel like I know Volpe's a really good base stealer. He's one of our better base runners, and he's really good at stealing third base. I believe that's only the second time in his entire career he's been thrown out at third base. I know it was a really close play too. But to back that up bothers me a little bit because, it's one of the cardinal rules. And I'm not trying to be an old head and be like, can't make the first or third out of third, blah, blah, blah. I understand you're in a scenario where you want to win a game and you want to get ahead and you want to get an advantage. I completely agree. And I know numbers-wise, Volpe is actually more than likely going to steal that bag than he's not. I just think the scenario you're in, granted, it was the first game of the series. You don't know your offense is in a little bit of a funk. But, coming back to these later days, after these later games, you got to look at that and be like, that was a poor decision. And I really don't agree with Aaron Boone. I'm not saying he was like, I played the clip, you would have already watched it or listened to it, but I'm not saying he was being harsh to the reporter, but I think, he took it as a question of, well, you kind of should say something to Volpe, and I feel like he took the question a little bit in the wrong way. I don't think that's that. I mean, as a reporter, your job is to report and get the best answers. You want to get the most media, of course. So I just think backing him up in that scenario, obviously that tells me that wasn't called. The Aaron Boone didn't set that up. That basically Volpe was on his own again, and I like the aggressiveness because. Again, you don't know your offense is in a funk at this point. I know you went over 30 at that point you were at 30 innings, and Judge had in the past 30 innings or something like that. Judge had the only 2 RBIs. So, it's a tough topic, and I just want to say basically I don't agree with what Boone had to say when the reporter asked him the question. I feel like a little bit more. You should be a little bit I like the aggressiveness, and I appreciate him trying to take that bag, but in that scenario I don't think that's the right call, and that's personally what I believe. I don't think that is the right call, because I think if you're going to do that, you might as well bunt it at that point, but you're not going to bunt because you're going for the extra run on top of the run all the way on second. That is a must score. That's the issue. That's what I don't think a lot of teams attack in these extra innings. I can't stand the runner starting on second. I think it's stupid. It's the one thing me and Michael K agree on, as he was talking about it too. I think it's so dumb. I understood it during the COVID times, or maybe even the lockout year after that. All right, now we got to play more games in a shorter amount of time, blah, blah, blah. I understand that, trying to save arms, but at this point, man, go back to what it was. I really like. I agree with the bigger bases. I at first I didn't like the pitch clock. I don't mind the pitch clock now, but I really don't like the runner on second base. But anyways, let's get into the next topic. So we're gonna talk about the June Yankees. So historically, the Yankees have been horrific in June. At least maybe not historically. For the past couple of seasons, they just fall apart in June. We always get off to a really good start, fall apart in June, get about 10 games over, like get back to like 10 games over. I think that's why I'm not blowing up so much. The Yankees always have that part of the season. I know it was August in 22, but they always have that part of the season where, they just collapse for like 3 weeks. Literally, they'll win like 3 games in 3 weeks, or maybe 4 games in 3. It's just, it always happens. It's a tough time. I'm not gonna sit here and say like I think the season is gonna go perfectly and they're gonna be consistent the entire time. I would like to see more consistency. I would like to see them get out of that from the years past. But that's the June Yankees. So I'm actually curious, record-wise. So I mean, in March we started 3-0. We went 15-13 in April, which wasn't great. And in May is where we got hot, 17-9, and then we've been 7-6 past June. I'm curious. I want to see their all-time record in June, because I think I saw something where it was like, okay, historically, the Yankees actually perform well, but the past couple of seasons, they haven't. But anyways, we'll get off that. That was just like a little weird thing I saw. But anyways, I want to move on to DJ LeMahieu now. So the Yankees were in talks to we're basically saying they're looking trade-wise to get another infielder, preferably a right-handed hitting second baseman or third baseman. So they were basically, I think they were just waiting a little bit to see how DJ comes off. So to this point, DJ, he's hitting 263, which is pretty decent. I know he hasn't played a lot of games, but he's hitting 263. He's playing really good defense, so I'll give him that. I'm not upset with his defense at second at all. I think it's been above average to this point. He's made a couple highlight plays, which, is nice to see. He only has 2 home runs. He only has 718 OPS. So his OPS is below average. I believe his OPS plus is a little bit below average, but he's playing good, and he is getting hits. Not as many walks as he was in the past. I think you give him about another. Personally, this is what I would do. I would give him this month, give him till the All-Star break, see where we're at this point. Because if he's gonna play at least above average, I think they should still go out and get another right-handed infielder. Just maybe at that point, you'd get more of a utility guy that you can also trust to play short, third, and second. I truthfully don't know who's really out there right now, trade-wise, for that. And then if he's playing really poor, then you can really focus on getting a primary second baseman, a right-handed bat, obviously, or a primary third baseman and moving Jazz back to second. I don't think there's a lot of third basemen out there, though, so I'm probably going to assume it's going to be Jazz at second, Jazz at third. But, we'll see. DJ is such a tough case because truthfully, yes, we've seen him struggle the past 2 years, but we haven't seen him healthy at all the past 2 years. I don't know if there's truthfully anything left. It's tough, and he looks good. I mean, he would have another double on the season if it wasn't for that just terrible call. But it's an interesting topic to me. I don't really know who's out there to trade for. I haven't really looked into that. Maybe that'll be a show I do within the next couple of days. Maybe we'll look at some guys. It's probably going to be something I do over the All-Star break, though, since, it is an All-Star break, and I still want to get videos out, so... But, we'll see what happens. I think they'll probably still go for a primary second baseman and keep DJ on the bench. Likely, probably moving somebody. I know they still want to get another pitcher too, which I'm curious about. But I'm actually gonna do that over the All-Star break. I'm gonna look at Yankees trade options. But is what it is at this point. I think DJ is going to still be somewhat productive. Not nowhere near what he was, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was a 270 hitter. Maybe he popped a couple homers here and there. And I just would like to see that OPS at about 750 and at least have like a 104, 105 OPS plus, a little bit above average. So, you're not just sending an average guy out there. But he is playing good defense, so, But let's get into the injury stuff. So, there's really not much going on injury-wise other than Giancarlo Stanton. So it has officially been announced Giancarlo Stanton will be coming back for the Angels series, either Game 1 or 2. I'm going to assume Game 2 only because knowing the Yankees are going to want to use Pablo Reyes one more time before I assume they release him after Stanton comes off the IL, because Pablo Reyes is considered and also another outfielder. I know Stanton's only going to DH, but that's just the way it is. So I think... It wouldn't surprise me if Pablo Reyes got to start tomorrow. And they gave him his one last, send-off game before releasing him. I don't think he's going to get picked up because he's terrible, but we'll see. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they just said whatever and Stanton comes back for tomorrow. I think they were talking about he was hitting off the projection machine today. He was just training, and he was back in Yankee Stadium. Yankees go home tomorrow against the Angels. So we'll see. But everybody else stays about the same. I know they're talking about Marcus Stroman probably changing his role, moving into a bullpen role. I just saw the headline. I didn't read into it, so I don't know, what that truthfully is, but I saw that. And Weaver is basically on the same pace. I know he threw a bullpen yesterday. Nothing has come out about that since he's thrown it. So those are really the major ones. Everybody else is the same. Luis Hill's still working slowly. I know Afros is back. We talked about that last show. So really nothing much else going on. So just like I'm going to end the show probably here. Just a rough series, a rough offensive showing. Judge struggled mightily this series, striking out 9 times. So I'm hoping the Angels series will come in and just hit the baseball. Just forget about what happened and hopefully just move on from the Red Sox. It's really tough to lose 5 out of 6 for a division, and in division as well. We've been so bad at that in years past, just not being able to beat our own division. So, doing it once again is just it's not a great feeling. But that's where I'm gonna end it. So, thank you for watching. I hope everybody has had a wonderful day, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching again, and if you are interested, I post I don't know if anybody in here cares, but I post little clips on TikTok and Instagram, and I do shorts too. So if you're ever interested, you can go. It's Vinny Talks Yanks on everything. I think Instagram is Vinny.TalksYanks. Also, everything's on a podcast. So I know all those links will be in the description if anybody's interested. But again, thank you for watching. I hope everybody has a great day, and go Yankees.